There, this is the 5.5-inch blade Voyager Cold Steel with partially serrated blade. I'm not really going to talk about how great it is or all the things it does. Everybody pretty much knows it's pretty good. It's real strong. It's real thick. It's got this tough blade. And what I want to talk about is this little screw here, which you can tighten and loosen up. If you tighten it up, then you'll have to do a two-handed open like this, or you'll have to really tough it out to open it up, but it won't come flying back on your fingers. And after I loosen it up here, I'll show you that. It's that once you've got this thing open, you've got to use your thumb. It's too hard to use your finger, and your fingers are going to be in the way, and this thing is going to fall down, cut you, bite you every time. I'm going to now loosen up the torque screw. I'm going to use a little screwdriver that I filed down to fit in because I don't really have a torque wrench of this size, and so I whittled down this. Let's see, just a little more. That's actually too much, but let's see. You'll notice that I've duct taped my fingers, and that's just for this demonstration because this is going to probably swing down on me and cut my fingers if I don't, because I'm not that good. And a lot of people aren't at first because they're surprised by the weight and heft of this blade. So anyways, basically now I've got this thing open. Let's see if I can just swing it. And I can click it, go open. I'm not fast, but by example. Now, if I should decide to close this like this, whang, it comes down and it hits the finger. It is such a sharp knife with that little tap, it'll go deep. It'll go 1/4 inch and sometimes more. Depends how loose it is. So basically a two-handed close, once again, is pretty safe. I've tightened this thing, actually I've loosened it too much. Let's see. Yeah, I've still got I've got a real guillotine here. Whack. So there's my duct tape, no problem. But if you decide you want to close yours single-handedly, point it down like this so you've got some gravity and it's not going to swing more than about to that distance. Then you can, of course, two-handed close it, or you can, against yourself or whatever, you can, with your hands out of the way, your fingers out of the way, you can close it. But it's very hard to get a pressure like this with your fingers out of the way of this area right here where the blade's going in. You can't really close it unless you get a good grip on the darn thing. So if you have it pointed down as such, you can tell this is definitely a crummy homemade video. But okay, I'm back, and here is the Cold Steel Voyager, and I've loosened up the little nut here, the little torque screw, and I've made it so it's very loose now, and you can really fly it open, you know, and really slam it open and be pretty tricky. But here's what can happen. So okay, watch your eye. Notice I've taped my first two fingers with duct tape. Now, why would I want to do such a thing like that? Okay, let's see if I can do this. Okay, when that thing flies back here like that, it can really bite you good. And let's try that again. Oh, and of course I hit the duct tape, so it's not a problem. This thing is so sharp, it will cut to the bone. Or it will leave a nice little cut. I've loosened up the little screw in here, the torque screw, and so it's pretty loose. It's still too big for my hand to really open one-handed very easily. But what I wanted to show again was that if you open it, it swings down and hits your finger like such. I've taped up my fingers, of course, so it wasn't really a problem. But if you're going to try to close this thing single-handedly, you're going to want to point it downward when you press on it so that it swings, but it won't swing back on your fingers. And then of course you can, as you've cleared this area and where the blade goes in, you can decide on the method you want to close it with, against yourself or against an object or whatever. Man, this thing is big. I mean, it's a good knife, but it just has to be respected in the beginning when you're figuring out how to use it. You don't really want to, as I say, close it like this, where you've got some gravity and it's going to swing down and hit you, because that right there would be enough to cut. So, here is the Cold Steel Voyager with the nut tight. So it's a two-handed open and a two-handed close. It's very secure once it's locked in. I'm going to loosen this screw now. Let's see what we got here. Okay, now once again, wham, comes down, can certainly hit your fingers. That would be real, especially in this position. This would be terrible. I'm even afraid to do it with 4 layers of duct tape on my fingers. Whoa! Oh man, nope, no problem. Love that duct tape. Amazing stuff. So anyways, let's do it carefully. We point the knife downward, and then we close it. Okay, this is just a funky homemade video, but I wanted a heads up for everybody that this is a knife to be respected. It's well made, it's well built, I like it, but keep your eyes open and be careful in the beginning when you're practicing with this, and if you have to be a hot shot, just like with ballad songs and some of your other knives, they're real tricky. Just be careful, because it's sharp and it's a heavy blade. That's all. Best wishes, everyone.